Hello guys and welcome back. So today we're going to go over a few smaller stories about Borderlands 3. And before I get to that, I just want to thank you guys so much for 10,000 subscribers. This is my first video I've made since we hit that. It's really cool. I haven't decided what I want to do for it yet, but that's a topic for a whole other video, so you guys will probably see something in the future. So without further ado, let's get right into the stories. So first, let's talk about Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford had his appearance at E3 confirmed directly from the E3 Twitter account, which some people take as more evidence that Borderlands 3 will be shown at E3. Also, now people have started going back through to the Walmart leak and making lists of all the games that have been announced, and there's only a few games left. So the evidence of people just thinking that Borderlands 3 or some other Borderlands title will be announced there keeps building up. But I wouldn't hold out too much hope for any of that. My last video was about a rumor the Borderlands 3 or Border Worlds might be shown after Randy made a magician thread and analogy on Twitter. And now it's announced that he will have a magic panel there. But I'll link my last video down below if you guys want to hear all about that rumor. And I'll link the E3 tweet if you want to check it out for yourself. But for the most part, don't get too excited. If you remember earlier, a Gearbox rep already told a room of journalists, allegedly, that Gearbox would not be showing anything Borderlands 3 at E3, before the show or at the show. So we might still see the Borderlands 1 remaster, that could be announced there. But now it's even being reported more recently that VG247 is saying that Gearbox will be showing their new game Project 1v1 behind closed doors at the show. They had their closed technical test last year, and it's a first-person shooter card game hybrid. So it's not the most popular thing, and I do think that if Gearbox does decide to show this instead of something Borderlands, the fans won't be happy. We've been waiting so long, we don't want to see any more games still come out or being shown. No one really knows what Gearbox is going to do. They could still do a surprise reveal, or who knows what. But that's kind of the end of the E3 story. Next, let's talk about the Nerdvana live show. Posted on Twitter saying, quote, "Update, Nerdvana live show will be off the air through the summer. Stay tuned for new content coming in the fall." So after the video I made covering all Randy Pitchford's comments about Borderlands 3 from one of the Nerdvana live shows, I know a lot of you guys subscribe to the Nerdvana channel to catch other videos, and even have been asking if I'll make another one when they're going to come out with more videos. But now it looks like we won't get any new information, at least about Borderlands 3 or from Randy Pitchford that way, until after the summer. Which does suck for fans, but hopefully when they come back, if Borderlands 3 still isn't announced or shown, they'll have a lot to talk about, and maybe Randy can open up more about certain questions and what to say. So another story is about Borderlands 3 that it's confirmed that the game will have 4-player co-op. It also came from Twitter from a fan saying, quote, "I have it on very good authority that Borderlands 3, whenever it eventually comes out, will have a battle royale mode that allows 1 billion players at once." And then he also tagged Randy Pitchford in the tweet. Randy Pitchford obviously saw the tweet and responded saying, quote, "Unfortunately, the Borderlands engine only allows for 4 players and they have to be on the same team." End quote. Which has all the fans and people in the community have taken as confirmation that the game will be a similar structure to what we've seen in the past Borderlands game, which is just 4-player traditional co-op, but also that there will not be a battle royale mode, which is great to hear that Gearbox isn't just jumping on the trend just to jump on the trend, and that they're sticking to their roots and what they know will sell. So now we have to talk about another story where Take-Two says that the future games will all be prepared for next-gen consoles. The CEO of Take-Two Interactive, who we've talked about before, Strauss Zelnick, said that they are ready to start supporting a new generation of consoles. And this comes after a bunch of news from Sony saying that they're going to start ramping down production and get ready for the next thing, and all the rumors about PS5s and Xbox Twos, whatever it ends up being. But Strauss goes on to say, "So the last transition period, for example, was a lot of noise in the marketplace about how challenging it was for catalog products. And we weren't challenged in the least. We did exceedingly well because I believe our catalog was so high and is so high. And that's why, for example, our catalog sells more per SKU than I think any other company in the business. So I think because we have a limited number of the highest quality releases, because our titles tend to do well as catalog title transition periods create somewhat less risk for us, we're not dealing with massive tonnage of SKUs that we have to make decisions about, and because our titles are typically very, very high quality, they can continue to perform as new platforms are released. With Take-Two's big budget and high quality titles, Borderlands 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2 are two games that definitely should jump out to fans and that fit the current build. Both haven't come out yet, but they're both going to come out. Red Dead at the end of this year and Borderlands hopefully within the next year or two. And that transition period, it should be nice that these games, or Take-Two has already started the conversation of these have to be next gen ready, they have to be compatible, we have to make sure that our games are future proof and then could be ported over pretty soon and we won't have to wait as long for something like the Handsome Collection before the next game, whatever it ends up being called. So really great to hear. Obviously they don't call out Borderlands 3 or Red Dead by name, but that's what they're talking about with their high budget, very few games they release. Then we can jump to the very last story, which is just another Twitter tease. It's a small tease, but it could mean something bigger. It started with the Borderlands Twitter account tweeting, quote, "The city of Sanctuary was built on top of an abandoned mining ship, burrowed into the ground. Over centuries, the elements covered the ship in salvaged vehicle parts and became part of the structure, creating the, quote, friendliest city on Pandora." And that says friendly is a relative term. Randy Pitchford quoted the tweet and said, quote, "Sanctuary on our minds," which is an obvious tease for Borderlands 3, whether they're deciding to do something with Sanctuary, which is interesting considering that it's heavily rumored that Borderlands 3 won't be on Pandora. So would we be taking Sanctuary with us to a new planet? Will it be destroyed? There's so much I could go in on this, what it could mean, what the plans could be for Sanctuary. So maybe I'll make a full theory video in the future. Let me know if you guys want to see that. But also, I think the bigger thing this means is that the Borderlands Twitter account actively tweets things that they're working through in the development cycle. I don't think them tweeting about Sanctuary was an accident. I think if Randy Pitchford said that Sanctuary's on our minds, that means that they tweeted this on purpose because they're working on it right now. So going back through and looking at a lot of their tweets could provide a lot of insight on what they were working on at the certain times of posting. Obviously not all the tweets will be this way, but it would be interesting to go back through and kind of look and see what they've hinted at. Maybe that will be a whole nother video too. But let me know what you guys think down below about all the stories. That's where we're going to end today. Thank you again for 10,000 subs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.